Before we get started, I just wanna say a huge thanks to y'all. You are seriously the best subscribers ever, and your support really pushed me to finally go all in on using only my real voice in my videos. I also noticed a lot of people are curious about what kind of accent I got. Drop your guesses in the comments and maybe I will spill the truth in one of the next videos. In this video we are gonna talk through literally everything we know about episode 7 so far, and I will also break down the key events and characters you are really gonna need to keep an eye on in the new episode. We all know the new glitch project, Knights of Gooseworx, just dropped a couple days ago, which means we definitely won't see any fresh content about Digital Circus for at least a week, but honestly that totally works in our favor, cause that way we will know for sure that once this settles, Glitch will be fully locked in on getting episode 7 of that amazing Digital Circus ready for release, and that release date is exactly what we are gonna talk about right now. Y'all remember how just a couple weeks after San Diego Comic-Con we got episode 6, right? That's why a lot of fans started thinking the same thing might happen again with LA Comic-Con. Gooseworx only added fuel to the fire with what she said during the Job at the Home livestream that happened after episode 5 dropped, where she mentioned that episodes 5, 6 and 7 were all being developed at the same time. From the pattern we saw with episodes 3 and 4 and then 5 and 6, it's pretty clear that when their work is running in parallel, the wait between episodes ends up being around 2 months. Now if we line up those 3 factors, the release of Knights of Gooseworx, LA Comic-Con and Gooseworx's own words, it starts looking less like a fan theory and more like a straight up confirmed fact that episode 7 will drop in October. Which means we are basically just waiting 4 or 5 weeks for the new amazing Digital Circus episode, and the most realistic date in my eyes is October 17th. Before we dive into the so-called story leaks, let's clear up one more technical detail about episode 7. Y'all remember how before episode 5 dropped, Gooseworx made that post that had everyone convinced episode 7 was gonna be pure chaos and anarchy inside the Digital Circus, but instead what we actually got was just a setup for all the major events, which basically makes episode 7 the one where all the chaos is supposed to really kick off. Then right before episode 6, Gooseworx also posted that the total runtime for episodes 6 through 9 will be 2.5 hours or 150 minutes. Episode 6 ran a little over 30 minutes, so it's easy math to figure out the rest of the episodes together got a feel about 120 minutes. On top of that, Gooseworx once wrote that one of the episodes will be so long, and if we connect that to what I already said about episode 7, it feels super likely she was talking about this one. If episodes 8 and 9 end up being about the same length as episode 6, then episode 7 could run a full 50 minutes. That's just insane. Oh my gosh, 15 minutes, so... The next batch of so-called leaks comes from a series of Tumblr posts where Gooseworx talk about which episode Jext will surf the most in, described each episode with a single word, and mentioned who each episode will focus on. At first glance, that post doesn't really make much sense, cause Goose literally isn't giving anything away with her answer. But if we line it up with the next post, things start looking way clearer. Goose straight up said the episodes haha and oh will be the toughest one for Jext, which makes it pretty obvious she was talking about episodes 5 and 8. Thinking back to episode 5, I can't really say it was super hard or horrible for Jext. If anything, we just saw the same rabbit we are already used to.
Oi, mate! I'm an Australian extremist, and I've come to detonate this bomb that'll release all the world's deadliest spiders into... Did I pick a bad time?
Maybe Goose actually meant that episode 5 was thought for Jext cause the whole Ribbit storyline came back up, but for now that's just speculation. What we do know for sure is that episode 8 will really hit this character hard, and that makes it pretty likely Goose was trying to throw herself a bit and actually meant episode 7 instead of episode 5. And honestly, that makes way more sense if you think about how episode 6 ended.
I'm the one who causes pain for fun! If I led you on, it was just to make this part hurt you more. There's nothing more to me. So please, just stop looking.
So at this point we are basically 100% sure that all those words and actions are not gonna slip by in episode 7, and Jax will either have to face the fact that he needs to change, or he might actually end up sharing the same fate as his friends. On top of that, episode 6 was the last one that focused on a single character, so from here on out it's just about waiting and seeing how everything unfolds. When we first saw the so-called leak, it wasn't totally clear what the creators were trying to say, but as the main storyline of the digital circus keeps opening up, a lot of things, including this, are starting to make way more sense, and that's exactly what we are gonna dig into right now. Before we jump into the breakdown, keep in mind this particular leak was all about specific characters, and instead of just saying everyone or something like that, Goose decided to tease us a little. The last couple weeks have been pretty wild for the digital circus community, cause a few voice actors almost at the same time slipped up and hinted that Ribbit might play a pretty major role in the new episode, but what really got fans buzzing was that livestream with a voice actor for Zubul.
Using knowledge I have of Ribbit that you guys don't have yet, Ribbit's smash.
Right now we've got 100% confirmation that Ribbit has a full-on personal storyline that will probably shock us big time. Knowing that, plus the fact that this post was all about characters and just following the plain logic, that's basically screaming Ribbit showing up in the new episode is inevitable. We can be totally sure the next episode will introduce this new character in a big way. I can't say for sure what format it's gonna take, but there are odds that it will be shown as some kind of memory from one of the characters, most likely Jax, are way too high to even seriously consider other options. I'm not really expecting a full-on appearance, but another possibility is Ribbit showing up in the new adventure as an NPC, and if that's the case, then we will see this character story unfold through the adventure itself. On top of all that, I still haven't even talked about the new adventure, which might end up being a beach-themed adventure or maybe even a mummy-style one. Yeah, way too many adventures in one sentence. I also didn't get into the possible return of Kaufmo or the chance that one of the characters could get abstracted. There's a good chance I will make a part 2 for this, but for now drop your thoughts in the comments and I will see you real soon in the next videos.